The prodigal son outside McDonald's? Details in this painting change how you hear the parable, especially if you've always identified with the good son. The Two Sons by James B. Janknegt drops the prodigal son into our world of fast food, neon lights, and low wages. In Luke 15, the religious leaders grumble that Jesus welcomes sinners, and he answers with a parable that turns the spotlight on them. A man had 2 sons. The younger son demands of his father, "Give me my inheritance now." And the father hands it over. A few days later, he takes off. Janknegt shows it in the top banner. An airplane marks an overnight flight to a distant country. Blue sky cooling to deep night, then red like dawn. But unlike the warm pink glow over home, this dawn is harsh, almost like neon. Janknegt layers clues about where he's landed and what kind of life he's living. A prickly pear cactus appears. Maybe Texas? And that blue vignette hints at an unwholesome, wild living where the money disappears. Jesus talked of famine, and Janknegt shows what that looks like now. Economic collapse, wages too low to make ends meet. He's hungry. In Jesus' parable, he's sent to feed pigs and longs to eat what they eat. Here, the shirt logo tells you he's hired himself out. He's holding a half-eaten hamburger pulled from an overturned trash can, and he longs to fill his stomach. He decides to go home and rehearses his confession. "Dad, I've sinned against God and against you, and I don't deserve to be called your son. Just take me on like one of your farm hands." Across the lower banner, Janknegt maps his long journey back home. Bus station, bus, taxi, car and truck, maybe hitchhiking, a shoe, and a bare foot. At the center, everything turns. The father runs to him with open arms. "This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." He orders gifts, a jacket, ring, boots, and the workers race to bring them. Behind the house, the celebration builds step by step, a pig on a spit for barbecue, musicians tuning up and workers piling food onto the table, and then, in the foreground, a cold, hard rock, because not everyone is celebrating. Working in the field when he hears music, the older brother asks, "What's going on?" When he learns his little brother is home and his father has thrown a feast, he burns with jealousy and refuses to join. Janknegt shows it physically. A guitar snapped over his knee. No song in him. He reacts furiously. "I've stayed put. I've been here day after day doing right by you, and you ain't never made a fuss over me. But this son of yours blows your money and comes strolling back in, and suddenly it's a party." The father answers, "Son, you're always with me. What's mine is yours. But we couldn't not celebrate. Your brother was lost to us, dead as far as we knew, and now he's home. He was lost, and now he's found." Now, it's easy to stop here with unconditional love. The father forgives so quickly, preparations for the feast begin before the confession is spoken. Redemption is real, even for those who ran away. But there is more to this parable. Artists have pictured the prodigal son in many episodes: wild living, ruin, repentance, and the long walk home. In Western art, the parable's iconic moment is the father's embrace, and Rembrandt gives a version that everyone remembers. Your eye goes straight to the father's hands and the kneeling son, homecoming. The embrace is the emotional core. The older brother stands off to the side, present but tight, his resentment pressed down behind his eyes. And that compositional choice becomes a pattern across much of the tradition. The elder brother is there, but visually secondary, a witness more than a warning. Janknegt doesn't leave him on the edge. He puts the older brother in the foreground. his anger fully visible in broad daylight, and builds a composition around his interruption, that snapped guitar over his knee. No song, no celebration, and at his feet lies a skull, what resentment does to a soul. Luke 15 isn't only for the lost. It's for the ones who stayed, for religious leaders who live inside God's house, yet bristle when mercy goes to the wrong people and call grace unfair. That's the danger, then and now. You can be in your Father's house and still refuse the Father's heart. So Janknegt makes you ask the harder question, not, will the sinner be welcomed? We know that answer. The real question is, will the hard-hearted religious folk accept that grace is not a prize for the deserving, but a gift that remakes a family? And that's what Janknegt makes impossible to miss. The distant country isn't only out there under the neon lights. It can be right here at home, when we'd rather be right than reconciled. The Father's face is turned toward both. Grace is here for those who came home, and grace is here for those who never left. The parable leaves the ending open. The party is waiting. The music is playing.